Okay, what is your name?
Lacretia Lee.
Lacretia Lee.
Yes, sir.
And you're the granddaughter of Jimmy Lee Jackson.
Yes, sir.
So, what do you think about, and what do you know about what happened to your grandfather? And had you been born yet?
No, sir. My mom was only 3 years old when it happened. And what I know about it is that night at the cafe where they were rallying, they were having something at the church. And after they left the church, they started lining up and they went to the cafe, which is right behind Zion Church right now. Well, the cafe is not there, but that's where it was. And he was trying to protect his mom. They were trying to dispute to get the black people away from there. And they started beating him, and eventually they started beating his mom. Well, his mom, he saw them beating his mom. He tried to get them off of his mom, and at that time, one of the officers pulled him off and said they thought he was trying to get their gun, so they shot him. And after shooting him, they still basically beat him with the billy club afterwards. And I know that Albert Turner was the one of them that took him to the hospital, the Good Samaritan building. But it's every year around this time is very hard, not knowing what would have been or what could have been, with my mom being raised by him or me having a grandfather is pretty hard every year.
What about when the trial took place? Was that a hard process?
Yes, the trial, first of all, learning what happened to him by reading a book in school and doing a book report. That's how I learned the information that I know, that I knew. And for him to admit that he did it, but to say in court that he is sorry, he asked for our forgiveness afterward, but to say at the time he didn't think it was a big deal because the only thing he was doing his job. But later on after court, leaving out the courtroom, he took me and my mom to the side and said he apologized for what he did, his actions. He didn't apologize for everyone else's actions. He apologized for his actions. And at first I thought 6 months was like a slap on the wrist or nothing, but that 6 months was more than some people ever got for justice for their family members dying. So we got a little piece behind it, but it's still there.
Now, today is the anniversary.
Today is the anniversary, 56 years, yes, sir.
56 years ago tonight, this evening.
Yep, tonight.
Will be the anniversary.
Yes, sir.
And so how's your mom doing?
She's not. She didn't want to do anything, but I was telling Mr. Burgess was coming all the way from North Carolina, because every year I contact the news station, but I do that because I want to keep awareness of who he was alive. He wasn't a thug. He wasn't somebody going after the police. He wasn't someone that was throwing bottles or doing anything against the law.
He wasn't even protesting.
He wasn't even protesting. Yes.
That was ironic.
Yes. It just was. Yes, he was a part of trying to get them to vote, but it wasn't the rowdy part of it. Everything was peaceful that night. The troopers and the officers coming made it what it was. It wasn't anything on our part. And it's hard every year knowing that his life is gone, but it gives me peace that I can still speak about it. I can still say my part. And with this Black Lives Matter this year and last year, it made it more upfront with what they went through 56 years ago. It's coming back now. Black Lives Matter. Most of the time it's the police officers who's doing this. He was an innocent person whose life was taken.
Is there anything you'd like to say to our audience and to people about your family and about your late grandfather?
Yes, I want everyone to remember Jimmy Lee Jackson. I understand Dr. Martin Luther King, Reverend Abernathy. I understand their place in the civil rights movement, but Jimmy Lee Jackson's death is what initiated Bloody Sunday. They were marching for voting rights. They were marching because he was killed by Alabama State Trooper. That's what Bloody Sunday is about. Look in history. Google his name. YouTube his name. YouTube his life. And remember, Jimmy Lee Jackson lives. If he's only going to live through me and my family, he's going to live. And I hate that we're celebrating an anniversary of what happened to him. But if awareness can come out 56 years later, 57 years, however many years, I want that awareness out. That all lives matter, but especially Black lives matter.
Thank you. Thank you.